How's it going, everyone? I'm KingBlackToof, lovely to have you here. So today we're going to be looking at all the golds in the game and putting them into tier lists for arena mode, okay? Now I've already done that, and so I'm going to discuss them. We've got S tier, tier 1, 2, 3, 4 and synergy only. I'm going to be focusing heavily on S tier and tier 1 because in tier 2 onwards there's a lot of cards, but I will briefly go over them. Okay, so it would take a long time to go through each one of those individually. But I really want to put forth the concept first that just because a card may appear in tier 3 or tier 4 does not make it automatically a bad card. You should never pick it in arena. In fact, I'm glad to say that's not the case at all. Just because a card is in a low tier, it just means it's not an auto pick. It's not something that's always going to be good. You really need a foundation for that card to be good. A great example for me is Dandelion Vainglory. Itself a 9 strength card, pretty diabolical, but with the right foundation, the right sort of support and synergies already in the deck when you get to choose him, he becomes really powerful and easily got me to 9 wins. So he won't be in S tier or tier 1, but you know, with the right props he can really do well. So just take that into account, that this is not discounting all the cards that come after S tier. Just you know, do feel free in arena to experiment, and I really encourage it as well. So here we've got the S tier cards. There's a small range of cards here, and these are cards I consider auto picks. If you get option of these, very highly consider taking them. They are very powerful cards, very consistent, and you know, always going to give you good results. Now I want to go through and justify each one because I think some picks here are slightly odd, you might consider. But first of all, Shoop's Day Out, a very strong gold card when compared to other gold cards. You know, often worth 24 to 26 value. He has a lot of flexibility. You can do weather, you can do drawing a card advantage being very important in arena. You've got massive damage, you've got massive strength, you've got resilience, you know, loads of really good stuff on him. And the thing is, in Constructed, he's the thing that carries the deck. He's a very powerful card, but you weaken the rest of your deck by having this requirement of one of each card. Now in arena, pretty much every deck is a Shoopy type of deck. You know, not massive thinning, not massive synergy. So if you've both got kind of Shoopy decks, but you've got Shoop, he's a massively good card. So really good card to take, very powerful. So next I've chosen the Heim. Now this might be a little bit of a controversial one, being S tier, considering it's only 3 strength, but he really just allows consistency to what the meta is in the arena right now. And that is Olgierd and Morkvarg. These are the kings of arena right now. Everyone chooses Olgierd, everyone chooses Morkvarg if they get them. And the opposite side of the meta is Locks to deal with those particular cards, or stealing them, or, you know, artifacting or whatever. But they're so important in the meta right now, and this guy adds massive consistency to your deck for those particular cards. It gives you a little bit of tempo as well. What I really like about this, the extra bow on the dress for this particular card, is that he can never be bad. If you have Morkvarg or Olgierd and you play them, even if you have to choose this at the beginning of your run, you can still get a silver card from the opponent's deck, you know, with Create. So he's never a bad card. He just might not get you the things, but he's always a good card to try and go for because it can't be bad. And also, if you get Morkvarg and Olgierd, it's so important in arena right now, those cards. Okay, and it can also get you things like the Strigger. Strigger is also a very good silver, which can do 8 damage, which gets rid of engine cards. It's just, you know, it's just an overall really good enabler card, this. It's so important in arena right now. So next up, we've got Han Marvin's Blue Dream, and I also want to tie in Renew just below it. These are good cards because there's a lot more golds in arena, okay? So you're not restricted. So, you know, they'll be playing a lot of good golds if possible, and you'll be playing a lot of good golds if possible. So having choice of stealing one of those or copying it or whatever is just good. So these are going to be nice cards to take. Now, be aware that maybe Renew won't be good if your golds so far in your arena run are crap. But, you know, for the most part, you'll get choice and they're going to be good. Next up, Royal Decree. This is pretty much an auto include. This is so important because it gives you choice of the gold that you want. You know, this is one of the biggest auto picks most of the time. You know, you got Gelignite and you got Royal Decree. You choose Royal Decree. It just makes sure you get what you want, and that is so important in arena, especially for golds, which is really good. Stefan Skellen, he's 10 plus 5, but again, he gets you what you want, which is so important. And he also enables several interesting tactics down the line when you get other gold cards, which may again appear in tier 3. But if you can combine them with Stefan Skellen, he's, that combos amazingly well. The main two are Imlerith Sabbath, makes him a 10 strength card with 2 armor that duels every turn. That's a lot harder to deal with. And also Herrera Quacks or something. It buffs it by 5, it wounds itself by 5, is on 7 base strength and does 21 damage. So Stefan Skellen is such an enabler for those two really cool picks. And without those, I mean, he's just great. He can get any of these cards, put them to the top of your deck. So he's just a great enabler for later on. It's a really good choice. So then we've got Vilgefortz, and he is just a good card, amazingly good gold. That's why the faction issue was an issue, because Nilfgaard had like so many Vilgefortzes. But he's got flexibility. You can burn something which is way too high, or really troublesome, like Imlerith Sabbath, for instance. Or you just get more gold. 9 strength plus another card. It's just really powerful. So he's a very good card to take. Next, we've got Gels. While being very humble, it allows you to get a gold card and also get a silver, ready for your next draw. So he's just a very good enabler, again, to get through your deck and kind of keep those bronzes away most of the time, which is really nice. So skipping over Renew and on to Dijkstra, we know how strong Dijkstra is. He's just a very powerful card, especially now that your deck is filled with more golds than usual, more silvers than usual. It just goes to say that Dijkstra is going to be more valuable now because your overall deck strength has increased because of all these golds and silvers. So Dijkstra is really good. I had someone play Dijkstra into Dijkstra, and that hurt. So amazingly good card to choose when you can take it. Now I've put Cahir here. Now the issue with Cahir is just that you don't know what leader you're going to get until the very end, but most of the leaders are very good. I think there's only a narrow situation where you could get screwed on all of them, but still, he's a very good card to have because it allows you to replay your leaders, and leaders are really powerful, especially if you get some of the more powerful leaders as well. So he's a very good card. And finally, in the S tier rank, we've got Dandelion Poet. 6 strength and play another card is just a great value, especially if you get to play something like Vilgefortz, or you've played Stefan Skellen before, or you get Gels from that, and then you get, you can get like a massive chain. I believe one of the streamers had Dandelion Poet into Dandelion Poet into Dandelion Poet. It's just a really good card. Anything that can kind of get through your deck is a strong card, and he is very good. So S tier things there. Hope you enjoyed those. Hope you agree with them. Let's move on to tier 1 cards now. Okay, so these are my tier 1 cards, and this generally means, again, these are very good choices. They're just going to give you good value. Some of them might have some small, things where they might not work too well, but for the most part, they're very good choices. I've actually got Selkirk on here twice. That's a mistake. Muzzle first. Now, in Arena, we can start to see that engine cards are very common. A lot of people take engine cards because they're good value and it's worth trying. But also people take a lot of removal. Muzzle, when played against me and when I play it against an opponent on a card like that, it really hurts. It hurts a lot in Arena. I think it hurts more in Arena than it does in Constructed. It just feels really bad. You can get hold of Ockfist, you can get hold of a lot of cards with Muzzle, and it's a powerful card. Obviously, you run the risk of maybe they don't play anything that's actually worth taking, or nothing worth massive value for you. So it's a very good card and it hurts a lot. Next, we've got Selkirk with the little base strength buff he got recently. He's a very powerful card. I think he's got an upper ceiling of about 17 to 19 or something, which is really nice. So very strong card. He's got the removal potential, which is something you want in Arena to stop these engine cards and such. And failing that, he can always just get value, which is really nice. We've got Gelignite, always considered good, will always see value. I do think that Gelignite's value in Arena compared to Constructed is worse, which is unusual, but I think people's ability to gain high strength is more difficult. So there will be easier times where he's not worth as much, But generally speaking, in a long round, he'll always gain value. He's a good card to choose. The Caretaker, again, good value, gives an element of choice. There's a lot more silvers going around, so he's going to have a larger selection of cards to choose from the opponent's graveyard in regards to silvers, which is always nice. So next we've got Shanny, and again, she's going to have a larger selection of cards to choose from your own graveyard. And obviously you're looking for things like Prince Dennis and things like that, which are just good cards to really get repeated use out of. But she is going to be a good card, and is always worth a 20-point Shanny Radovid Africa. So, really good card there. Next, we've got Ciri. Scorch. I really don't think I've actually seen one Scorch offered to me in all my runs. But Ciri has appeared, and Ciri and Scorch is a really powerful thing. Not many people expect Scorch nowadays because it's not too easy to get in Arena. But Ciri can really provide that anytime, and it's just, it's a lot of value. Simple as that, really. We know why Ciri is good. And the same for Coral. She can be good, stop an engine or whatever, or a high strength unit. Most of the time, I think people are not going crazy with one particular high strength unit because the synergies are not there. But yeah, usually she'll find value. There's a chance that she won't get massive impact, but that's a little tiny risk you have to run. Uma, just a nice choice card. Sometimes it feels scary taking him because you don't know what you're going to get. But generally speaking, Uma saves the day 100% of the time, 50% of the time. Next, we've got Eason Grim Outlaw. And, he's got a bit of synergy towards him if you get those types of cards. Other than that, he has got some really nice options available to him, which is really going to help in the game with things like, Kieran and stuff like that. So synergy plus potential, just good value. Like the Heim, but the reason the Heim is in S tier is because the meta at the minute is so much regarding Olgierd and Morkvarg, where silver elves are not as competitive in that regard. Kian, this is a very good card. I mean, you're going to get a lot of items. You're going to get, I think, Elven Sword, is it? Elven Blade. That's a really good item to take because it's 10 removal, which is really, really nice. But also, you'll get tons of rune stones and Mahakam Horns offered to you. So Kian is always going to be good to get that thinning and get that particular card you want. Failing that, though, he does have also a create option, which is not too bad. Very much like the Heim, but again, the Heim is more key at the minute due to Olgierd and Morkvarg meta. Selkirk, we've already discussed. A glaze, a lot of people are running, like I said, these rune stones that you're going to see a lot. So a lot of spells that are really powerful are going to come through, and a glaze is going to be able to take advantage of a nice range of choice there, which is really, really nice. While also being 8 strength, which is really cool too. So again, some really nice picks here. Some tiny, things that you might have to consider, like Coral not getting value and Muzzle not seeing too much. But generally speaking, these are still very good cards to choose. Absolutely. So tier 2, we're not going to really look too in depth at this, but I'll comment on the ones that I think might need some really decent explanation or are really good exceptions. But tier 2, these are very nice ones. They're nice, they will do what they need to do, and you'll be happy about it, but they won't really do an awful lot. Their maximum range is usually about 16. You might be able to get more on some of them, like Yorveth Meditation. Doesn't seem to be the case, though. Not many people are buffing up too incredibly high. But there are some also really nice ones like Kira Metz down the bottom left, with the 3 options of Alzor included. Yorveth, which allows you to do 8 removal. Succubus is also one that could swing heavily, but I've never actually seen her go off in Arena. Leo Bonhart, Madman Lugos, these ones that just, again, remove an engine card is always good. So there's a lot of good cards here, really nice cards, but you will have to consider what you want to choose. But these ones will all, be good. They'll all do something good, I should suspect, and a worthwhile trying to have, The hardest one is probably Vil and Trettenmirth, because you don't know what the rest of your deck's going to be like and how that's going to kind of fit in. But yeah, these are all good. I mean, Burner Brand people rate higher than tier 2, but I find a lot of people, if they can, are taking silver mages. and you know, she probably will get cleared in some way. If you don't, she can gain a lot of value, and you'll notice that golden weathers are not present here either, because they're on the next tier, because again, silver mages are coming in, but they could gain value. So here we've got tier 3, and again, a large selection of cards, and these ones are a little bit more situational than the tier 2 and require, you know, a little bit more setup, or they don't gain as much value. We've got the 2 golden weathers in the middle, and while they could gain massive value and definitely push someone out of a round, I think everyone for silvers, when I get into the silver video, the first cards in S tier are going to be all the mages. You know, everyone takes the mage when they can, and you take multiple mages. So golden weathers are difficult to use unless you've got multiple weathers and they keep clearing it, and you can then pop down a golden weather or just go lucky. For that reason, tier 3 for me now. But I mean, again, I want to remind you about the idea of not all of these cards are trash. You know, oh, you got this card, you're going to lose. Not at all. Yennefer's down there in the middle. I had very good success with double Germain into Yennefer. You know, we've got Ulfhedin. You could easily do Vandergriff and Ulfhedin synergy as well, but alone they're not too great. You know, there's a lot of ones here which can be good, but you'll need other things to really support them a little bit, which is mainly the reason why they're here. For example, a couple of them down the bottom here, we've got Imlerith Sabbath. While he's okay on his own, he really needs Stefan Skellen or some way to sort of buff him up or be a bit lucky to just get really that really scariness to him. We've also got Ciri on the right. While she most of the time will die, if you can use someone like Francesca or Stefan Skellen and keep her alive, she's pretty interesting. You've got Tibor. With a bit of power creep that's happening, Tibor feels really bad when you play him in arena. The card advantage means a lot, and while you are giving them a bronze, it feels really bad playing Tibor, so I kind of stuck him here as well. Right, tier 4. Again, these ones are pretty much the garbage ones. You know, you're not going to choose these at all for the most part. I mean, I absolutely encourage, you know, experimentation. There are a couple of ones here that you could experiment with. We've got Ceres down the bottom left. Ceres Fearless. You know, when you discard something, it resurrects. Now, that's going to be difficult. You can combo it with Madman Lugos, combo it with Johnny. You can experiment with that, but it's going to be difficult, you know. You need Stefan Skellen to try and keep her alive, I would suspect. It is going to be difficult, you know, and all of these are going to be very difficult to use, and which is why they're pretty much in the either useless category or very, very specific, that it's just too difficult to use. Okay, so you'll probably never choose these, but if you do, it needs to be backed up by a lot of the deck synergies already. And finally, we've got the synergy only cards. These are generally mostly tier 4 cards, you know, useless until you get something which is good for them, for the most part. So, you know, we've got a lot of the tutors: Rainfarn, Eason Grim, Ithleen, John Natalis, Vesemir, Letho Kingslayer. These are all, you know, garbage until you get something they can pull. And pulling is really good. You know, we've seen Kian and Heim be good, but they've got like the backup of Create, you know, it's just a safety net, but these haven't. So you really need to pick these towards the end of your arena cycle, and if you've got the synergy for it, which is nice. We've also got the Heroic Quacks. You know, it's just not going to be very good unless you've got easy good synergy with it, like Stefan Skellen or something like that. And again, Dandelion Vainglory is here as well, because he's not very good. He's like in tier 4 until you get the synergy. And again, he carried me all the way to 9 wins. He's so easy when you've got like 5 Vesemirs, or no, 5 Trisses in your deck or something, and he becomes like a 24-point play. But yeah, these are synergy only cards. You only want to pick them towards the end of your cycle if you've got something, or you want to do a gamble on something like Ithleen. That's it, guys. Thank you for watching this tier list video. I really hope you found it useful. I think for the most part I think we've done a good job there of ordering those cards. Some cards you might consider up and down a little bit, but you know, some things are just difficult to say, like Golden Weather. It's just, it can be very good and it can be there, so I've kind of stuck it where it is. But really, I want to just emphasize 2 things. First of all, thank you for watching. Second of all, you know, have fun in Arena. You can stick to the tier list, but don't be afraid to, you know, take a gamble on a card or two when you've got a nice bit of synergy for it. I mean, for Vainglory, you have to take a gamble. You know, you're not really going to be able to get Vainglory at the end of your run. I chose him in the middle. I chose him after on the 10th card I chose Vainglory, and then I got another 3 cards to go with him. So you do have to take a gamble sometimes. Thank you for watching. Take care, and I'll see you again, as always, very soon.